Just a little. All right. Let's see. Let's have this guy go first. He's going to draw. I draw. I'll start with a tap land and end my turn. It's my turn. I draw. I'll start with the plains and end my turn. I draw. I will start with an island. End my turn. I draw. I'll start with a swamp. Then I end my turn. Untap. I draw. I'll start with a forest. Then for 2, I play Sword of the Animist. Then I end my turn. I draw. I'll keep it plain and simple, and then I will end my... Actually, I'll play Swiftfoot Boots. Pass. I draw. I will play a island, then end my turn. I draw. I'll play a swamp, and then for 2, I play the Thought Vessel. Put a lot of thought into it, and then I end my turn. Untap. I draw. I'll play a castle that doesn't enter tap since I have a mountain. Then for 3, I play the Basalt Monolith, and then I end my turn. Untap. I draw. I will play a plains and end my turn. I draw. I'll play an Urza's Power Plant, and then I end my turn. Tap. I draw. For 2, I play a Jet Medallion. Then I end my turn. Untap. I draw. For 0, I play Ornithopter. And then, since my commander costs 3 less, 3, 6, exactly enough, I play the Forge Tyrant. And then I'll go to combat. And I'll go 5 in the air at you. Now his ability happens. When he attacks, I exile the top 5 cards of my library. And I could choose one of them and cast it till end of turn. It also gains affinity for artifacts. I'll choose to exile this. And I'll just let these stay exiled and end my turn. I draw. I'll play a land, then for 3 I play the Ghostly Prison. Now no one can attack me unless they pay 2 mana for every creature coming at me. I end my turn. I draw. I'll play a land, and then for 4 I play Empowered Auto Generator. Enters tapped, and I end my turn. Untap. I draw. For 3 mana and 6 life, going down 29, I'll play my commander, Kirk, and then I end my turn. Untap. I draw. I'll start by going to combat, and I will swing your way again. Then attack happens. I exile the top 5 cards of my deck. And I'll choose the Solemn Simp. These will remain exiled. And since it gains affinity for artifacts, it'll cost a total of 3 less to play. So for 1, I play Solemn Sim. And when it enters the battlefield, I can search my library for another basic land and have it enter the battlefield tapped. And then for 2 mana, I'll equip this to my commander for next turn. I end my turn. Untap. I draw. I'll play a plains and end my turn. Untap, upkeep, I draw. And for 4, I play Unwinding Clock. Now, all my artifacts could actually untap on everyone's upkeep, not just my own. And the way my power engine works is whenever I tap it for mana, it gets a counter. And then I get a mana equal to the amount of counters it has. With that, I'll end my turn and untap this artifact along with you. I draw. Should I do it now or should I do it later? Decisions. I will pay a total of 4 life and 2 mana. Or should I say 1? I will play the Darkstar Augur, and when I cast it, my commander gets a counter. But since I'm paying extra life for the black symbol for the offspring cost, I get a 1/1 copy of this creature. And then I'll go to combat, and I'll pay the 2 to go 3 at you. And because you took damage, I will actually gain 3 of my life back, thanks to lifelink. And I end my turn. Untap, I draw. I'll start by going to combat. And I'll swing at you again. And on attack, I'll do 2 triggers. The trigger on top of the stack for the first ability is I'll search for a mountain and then it enters the battlefield tapped. Then I'll do my commander's ability. So now I will exile the top 5 cards of my deck, choose an artifact, and it gets an infirmity for artifacts that I could play it until the end of my turn. And I will choose Molten Physique. The rest will say exiled. And then for 2 red, I'll play it. So now, all of us will take the cards in our hands, shuffle them in our deck, then draw that many. But since I have enough artifacts, you all take damage equal to the number of cards that you draw this turn. 7. Boom. Boom. And boom. Now, shuffle. Then they have to do that. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boop. I don't think this person has a response. Oh, wrong pile. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he actually only takes 6. Boop. Boop. 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Got it. See if he draws anything. I end my turn. I draw. This will untap with you. I will play a lance, and then for 5 I play a card you helped me draw. Geo Golem. When it deals damage, I could cast my commander right from the command zone without paying its mana cost. However, I will still have to pay its commander costs. Then I'll pay 1 mana and attempt to equip it. Now it also has hexproof and haste. Then I'll go to combat, and I'll swing at you for 5. I'll take it. And because you took the damage, I could cast my commander from the command zone. Avacyn, the Angel of Hope. As long as this is out, all my other permanents, including her, have indestructible. I have a response. I'll tap this for a total of 4, and I play Rewind. It counters the spell, and it also lets me untap 4 of my lands. I'll remember this. Now, it'll proceed to my turn. Untap, I draw. And I'll start by floating 5 mana and tapping 1 to play my commander, Teferi. It starts with 5 loyalty, but I think I'm actually going to use a little trick of his. I'm going to choose to float 2 blue mana. I will then use his -1 ability that lets me untap 4 of my permanents. I'll use the 2 blue plus 1 more blue to play Archmage's Charm, and I'll choose the ability that lets me draw 2 cards. And then I'll float 6 mana. 4 of it I'll use to play Aetherflux Reservoir. Now, whenever I cast a spell, I gain life equals the amount of spells I cast this turn. So then for 1, I play the Millennium Calendar. It's the 3rd spell I casted. Did I say 3rd? I meant it's the 4th spell that I casted this turn. So I gain 4 life, bringing me up to 37. And then, for 3, I'll play the Vedalken Shackles. And with that, I end my turn. And this will untap with you. And because something untapped, the Millennium counter gets a counter. End my turn. I draw. But before I do, at my upkeep, I reveal the top card of my deck. I lose life equal to its mana, and then it goes into my hand. And since I have another copy, I do it again. And then I'll draw for turn. And I'll start by playing the Maze's If. Then what I'll do... What will I do? For 2 life, will play Dark Ritual, which will give me 3 more mana. Then, I'll use 2 of that mana and a total of 6 more life to then play the Insatiable Avarice. Now, since I chose to pay for both abilities, I could search my library for a card and then put it on top, but then I could proceed to draw 3 cards and lose 3 life. And I think I'll choose this card. You all didn't see that. Go down to 5. Then I'll play a tap land. Wait, I lied. Play the land this turn. What a wonderful hand. I will then pay 2 more life and use the last floating mana, plus 3 more, and another 2 life to play Exsanguinate. I used it for 4, so you each lose 4, and I gain 12 life, bringing me to 13. Then I'll go to combat. I'll swing 5 your way. In response, I'm going to float 7 mana and tap this to double this card's counters. And then I'll take the 5. I end my turn. Draw. I'll start with the lands. And then I'll go to combat. I think this time I'll go at your commander. In response, since my unwinding clock lets me tap these, I will... Well, because of my commander trigger, I exile the top 5 cards in my deck. And it gains authority for artifacts, and I can cast one of them till the end of turn. And I'll choose Meteor Golem. I think I'll float more mana to double the counters on this again. Then so it's really high, and then I'll pass to you. Oh, actually, yeah, I'll let my commander die. It dies. Boop. It died once. Then on my second main, since this costs 4 less, for 3 mana I play Meteor Golem. And I'll actually use that to blow up your Mazavith. And then on my second main, I'll play a land for turn. And then I'll pay 3 to untap Basalt Monolith and end my turn. Untap. And I'll untap with you. I draw. I'll play a lands that will also give this Bigger and Vigilance until end of turn. And then I'll go to combat. And since your maze is gone, I think I'll come at you for 6 trample. I'll double block with these and take 2. This will die. However, I will choose to pay the commander tax to play my commander from the command zone. In response, I float 5 to Force of Will to counter it. And with the floating before phases end, I'll use 2 of it to tap this. So as long as this is tapped, actually, I think I'll use the floating to double the counters on this again. And then I'll let you proceed. For 2, I play Thought Vessel, and then I end my turn. Nice, put a lot of thought into that one. Untap. I draw. And I'll start by floating 10 mana. And with 8 floating, I play Teferi. With this, I gain a life. But then, I will use the 2 floating and 2 more to play Spark Double, which will make a copy of my Teferi. And it will get an additional counter, bringing it to 6 loyalty. What I'll do after that is I'll plus to look at the top 2 cards of my deck, let one go to my hand and the other go on the bottom of my deck. And I've casted 2 spells this turn, so I gain 1 plus 2 more. And since I casted 1 spell on your turn, I gained 1 from that. I will then -1 the other Teferi to untap these 4 permanents right here. But before that happens, I'll double the counter so this goes to 32. Then for 11 floating, I'll go ahead and play the Great Door. Then I'll tap it, which lets me draw a card and discard another card. And then I'll double this again, bringing it up to 72. Then I end my turn, and these will untap, bringing it to 75. Untap. I draw. I will start with a swamp. Then I will go to combat. And I'll have 5 go at your Spark Double. I'll let my Spark Double die. Which means I gain another 5 life. And then I... Then for 3, I play Phyrexian Arena. When I say 3, I mean 1. This will go up. Then I end my turn. Untap, I draw. What I'll do is, for 6 mana, I play the Caged Sun, naming red. So now all my lands that add 1 more mana is an additional. And all my creatures of that color get +1/+1. Then I'll go to combat. And I'll attempt to kill your other commander as well. But when my commander attacks, I'll again exile the top 5 cards. Get to choose something from among them. Then I could cast till end of turn with Affirmity from Artifacts. And I'll also choose my Aetherflux Reservoir. And then I have 8 mana left, which I'll use to play the Battle Sphere. When it enters, I get 4 Myriad tokens. And since I casted a total of 3 spells this turn, I actually gain 3 more life back. My commander dies. But before you end your turn, I'm going to start by drawing a card, then discarding a card. Then, I'll float 12 mana and tap this, which will bring this to 150. And then it'll proceed to your turn and tap this, so which means it'll be at 153. I draw. I'll play a Blast Zone as my land for turn, and then for 3 I play the Banner, naming white. And then for 5 I play Glory, and then I'll pay 1 to equip and end my turn. On your end step, I'm going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to tap 1, draw and discard a card. And then I'm going to float 13 mana and double this to 310. And then proceed my turn, bringing it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 317. I draw. I play Psychotic Rift Overload. Now everything that isn't mine and isn't a land goes back to its owner's hand, and I still have 7 mana floating. Using 3 of it, I'm going to play Long-Term Plans, which lets me search for a card and put it 3rd from the top of my deck. Then, using, let's see, 4 floating, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 mana left. For 4, I play Rising Waters. Now, lands don't attack during our turns, and at the beginning of each of our upkeeps, they can only untap 1 land, and I'll go ahead and gain 3 more life, bringing me to 35. And then I'll tap this to bring it to 600. And then when your turn happens, I will untap and double the Millennium calendar to get to 1,000 time counters and sacrifice it so you each lose 1,000 life. That's game.